the story of the temptation of Jesus, when Satan tempted him in the wilderness, it is detailed in two books, in Matthew and in Luke. Mark mentions it briefly, but John doesn't even mention it at all, which you might find a little bit surprising. But remember that John was written much, much later than the first three Gospels. And so John had the benefit that I don't believe the other three writers did of being familiar with the first three books of the Gospel when he wrote the Gospel of John. And so probably, here's what I think happened, that Matthew and Luke covered that story so well that he thought, well, don't really need to add anything. So I think that is why John does not talk about it. So what I want to do, so the two different versions, Matthew and Luke, they're very, very similar. There's only a few different differences, which I will mention tonight. So, but tonight we're going to stick with the version that we find in Matthew. So that's what we're going to be going through. So what I want to do today to start is just read the whole passage. It's not very long. So let's start by looking at that. So here we go. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit, so by the Holy Spirit, into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And after Jesus had fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, he then became hungry, I guess so. And the tempter, who is the devil, the tempter came and said to Jesus, "If you are the Son of God, command that these stones become bread." But Jesus answered and said, "It is written, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes out of the mouth of God." Then the devil took Jesus along into the holy city, which is Jerusalem, and had Jesus stand on the pinnacle of the temple. And the devil said to Jesus, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, he will give his angels orders concerning you, and on their hands they will lift you up so that you do not strike your foot against a stone." Jesus said to the devil, "On the other hand, it is written, you shall not put the Lord your God to the test." And again, the devil took Jesus along to a very high mountain and showed Jesus all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And the devil said to Jesus, "All these things I will give you if you fall down and worship me." And then Jesus said to the devil, "Go away, Satan, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God and serve him only." And so then the devil left him, and behold, angels came and began to serve him. So, wow, interesting story. It's kind of strange. It's the only story like this in all of the Bible, actually. Definitely the only thing like this in the Gospels. So it is strange. It isn't very clear when you first read through it, like we just did. It's not clear necessarily what the devil was trying to accomplish with the first two temptations. So we're going to dig into those and talk about that a lot more. I think the third temptation makes a lot of sense. I mean, you can understand how wrong that was for Satan to try to get Jesus to worship him, right? But actually, there's a lot more underneath all three of the temptations than what you first see on the surface level when you first read through it. So there's so much for us to learn about the devil, how he works, what his strategies are, and how we can defeat him based on the way Jesus responds to him.